What's that all about?
Well, that'll be the Navy. Getting ready for World War III. We're only just outside the practice area.
Yeah, and we're drifting.
Now, no panic. They'll have us on radar.
Yeah. Could be they'll offer us a tow.
That's all we'd need.
Clear blind. Turn correct. Engage.
Better late than never.
Right. We're on our way. What you doing there?
We've lost close on 3 hours because of that ruddy engine.
Well, listen, if you think you could have done it any quicker...
Oh, come on, Joe. I'm not blaming you. Means we can't possibly make delivery on time. Not where it was originally planned, anyway.
So?
So, I've plotted a course for the alternative rendezvous. It's dodgier, but it can't be helped. One thing's for sure, though. I'm not taking her in until well after dark. Our friends will just have to wait.
Well, they said they would. You got to hand it to this lot, Dave. They're very well organised. You know what I mean? Allow for every possibility.
Well, let's hope so, with what we've got on board.
Is it that bad?
No, no. The upper deck looks fine. I just hate doing rounds of any description. And going to cocktail parties.
That could be a good one.
I don't intend waiting long enough to find out. What's the program tomorrow?
More weapon training, sir. Sail 0800 for surface shoot.
Right.
Thanks.
Oh, put a note on daily orders. Very good upper deck rounds.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry about the pin-ups.
Pin-ups?
In the buffer store. A bit explicit.
A bit top-heavy from what I can remember. Oh, you don't approve?
Not in places of work.
I had one of those tire calendars last year. Did wonders for my morale.
You kept it in your cabin.
Yes, it wouldn't fit into the cockpit of a Phantom. Oh, talking of pin-ups, if I'm wanted tonight, I'll be going on to Sue Herrick's place.
That's only if your lady from London should ring again.
Tell her I've gone to the dentist. Sue Herrick, Surgeon Lieutenant, Dental.
Quite.
You better come with me.
Sir?
You could do with a whiff of laughing gas.
Daddy. The family gone and left you then, eh?
At my wife's sister's. Just as well, with disreputable characters like you around.
Well, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. You happier now?
Not much, no. 500 quid for all that?
All what? We were clean.
But my ulcer didn't know
But
it.
you said it yourself. They're clever operators. It was a good idea having a dummy run. It proved the system and us.
They could have told us, that's all.
It was a test. If we went west instead of north, kept the stuff instead of delivering...
Yeah, no loss to them, eh? And next time?
Well, next time, it's the real thing.
And the real money, eh?
Right.
Here you are, Lieutenant. Rinse and spit out.
Are you mocking my profession?
No, I wouldn't dare. But maybe I'll send my first lieutenant to you.
Derek,
Yes, he's got a plum in his mouth.
you could be kinder to him.
You've got about as much humour as he has.
Oh, it was a joke.
Yes.
Of course. Life's a joke to you.
And was it something I said? Or should I change my soap? Well,
Derek Beaumont is a gentleman.
of the old school. Blushes if a lady shows an ankle.
You could learn a thing or two from him.
It must be my soap.
People in this command know that we're friends.
Yes?
So did you have to spend the entire cocktail party chatting up that little nurse and pointedly ignoring me?
I didn't.
Oh, come on. You talked her enough to get yourself qualified, SRN.
I meant I didn't ignore you.
Well, that's the way it looked to everyone else. I got more sympathy tonight than drinks.
It would have been just the same if I'd stayed with you. One is supposed to circulate at a cocktail party.
But not round and round the same girl.
I'm sorry, Sue. I didn't like her anyway. She smelt of ether.
You don't understand, do you? I'm not asking you not to like her, not to talk to her, not to take her out. I have no right. I am simply the widow of your best friend, and I have no illusion.
I don't think
Please
that's...
let me finish. What I am asking is that you remember that if you claim someone as a friend, then you accept a responsibility for them. You can play the laughing cavalier with every nurse in Portsmouth, but not when I'm with you.
Roger.
All right. What did Derek do to you today?
I wouldn't let him take the pin-ups down.
Pin-ups?
In my night cabin. Bulkheads are papered with them.
Oh, well, at your age, you need something to remind you what it's all about.
That could be taken as a challenge.
You get your excitement at sea, sailor.
No, not this week. Weapon training.
Boring?
Keeps the fish heads happy, I suppose. Terrifies me.
Bridge gunner, Elsa. End of exercise.
Not bad.
It's very impressive, sir.
Roger guns. Well done.
Pause for home, Paul. Roger, sir.
I'll be my cabin, number one.
Sir.
Port 15, Revolutions 112.
Port 15, Revolutions 112.
Come in.
Sir.
From Mod, we've been asked to look out for the motor yacht Appleton Lady.
General search.
No, just check on likely contacts whilst on passage.
Any reason?
If sighted, she's to be stopped and boarded.
Oh.
Request through Mod from Customs. Apparently they've been interested in her activities for some time.
Smuggler.
Yes, and a crafty one. Apparently she's always managed to avoid their patrols inside the limits.
Suspected drug merchant.
Yes. White slaver would have been more fun.
Hmm? Oh, yes. Oh, by the way, your London acquaintance did ring last night.
Ah. You told her I was ashore with my dentist.
I thought I could be more plausible than that.
What?
I said you were with your analyst.
No idea how true that is.
It's that bearing again.
I thought you'd fixed it.
Look, only a temporary repair. Look, I've told you, we've ought to have someone from the boat yard have a look at it.
So when was the time?
All right, but don't get shouty with me, eh? It'll be all right if you go easy on it.
Well, let's hope so.
Bridge block.
Bridge.
New contact, sir. Scum 32. Bearing 312. 8 miles.
Roger, report.
Port 10, steer 312.
Port 10, steer 312.
Captain Sir First Lieutenant.
Captain.
New radar contacts are bearing 312, 8 miles. Altering course to take a look.
Roger.
Hello? Looks like we've got company coming up to port.
Damn.
It is the Appleton Lady, sir.
Yes. Close with her.
Request stop and prepare for boarding and inspection.
We'll outrun her.
With the port engine on the blink.
Well, what are we gonna do?
What do you think?
She's stopping. Take charge of the boarding party, number 1.
So. Away, Seaboat's crew.
Derek,
Sir.
present my compliments to her skipper. Tell him I'd like to see him when you've done.
Nothing, sir. It's clean.
Surprise, surprise. And skipper?
Waiting outside.
Did he give you any problems?
No. Couldn't have been more cooperative.
Show me what he's had.
So. Mr. Kenyon.
Thank you, number one.
So.
Close the door, will you?
Well, well. Well, it crossed my mind that it might be you when your number one told me the name. You're not surprised?
Appleton Lady, registered owner David Kenyon. It's a possibility. Then I saw you from the bridge.
Oh, of course. How are you, Alan?
Fine. You?
Oh, jogging along. God, it's good to see you again. It really is.
Must be 10 years.
Oh, closer to 12. Not counting our passing hello in the Strand in, when was it? 68, 69?
Yes, around then.
A lot of water gone under the bridge since.
Yes.
Captain of a frigate, eh?
The appointers make their mistakes.
And it's Commander Glenn now. Congratulations. Hey. They do you pretty well on these Leanders. Nice quarters.
So, what's been happening to you, David?
Oh, listen, that. Marriage, for one thing. Really? Something of a surprise to me, too. You?
No, managed to avoid it so far.
Oh, stop trying. It has a David Kenyon personal seal of approval.
Children?
Yes. Just the one. A girl. Sally. She's a great kid.
What, line of work are you in now?
A little bit of everything, really. Underwater surveys, occasional diving for a salvage company. And, of course, the Appleton Lady is always available for charter.
But she's not on charter now.
No. Just a test run. Having a bit of trouble with the port engine. Well, I must say, your lads gave us a real going over. What's it all about?
David, I had my glasses on you. I saw you dumping that stuff over the stern.
The rubbish, you mean? Well, what do you expect? Couldn't have the Navy coming aboard when we were knee-deep in gash, could we?
In sealed canisters. Do you know why we stopped you?
Oh, I've been wondering.
It was a request to mod from customs. We were asked to search for narcotics.
Narcotics? Oh, now, come on, Alan. Who's trying to pull what? All right, well, maybe we might have had a few watches on board. I'm not saying we had, mind you, just maybe, and no one can prove it now, even if we did have. But drugs, now that's something entirely different.
I agree.
Alan, you don't believe it, do you?
That's what the signal said.
Well, it's a lie.
A mistake maybe, but not a downright lie.
Yes, just that. What's more, I'll give you the reason for it. Now, imagine you're customs and excise, and there's someone you suspect of doing a little smuggling on the side. Now, for one reason or another, you've never been able to nab him. So you hit on the bright idea of having him stopped on the high seas. Now, for that, you need the cooperation of the Navy. You know, the Navy's not going to go out of the way for just watches. So you use the magic word, drugs.
It's a possibility, I suppose.
It's the only explanation, because they know for sure that this fella never touched anything like that and never would.
I hope not, David.
Take my word for it.
I have to, don't I? I've certainly no evidence that Appleton Lady was carrying anything. Apart from rubbish. Just the same, though, if you're right and the customs are so eager to get something on you, well, I'd watch it if I were you.
Point taken. As good as gold.
Well, if we want to get underway, I'll see you back to the whaler.
Yes, very cosy. And the money's not too bad, eh? I'm glad you really made a go of it. I always knew you would. Given the chance.
chap.
So, what now?
Well, we make for home, all fresh and clean, with nothing to fear.
You must be joking. I don't think our friends are going to be very happy about this, are you?
Would they have been any better off if we'd been caught with the stuff on us? Next time, we've been luckier.
I don't think they're too strong on second chances. Any idea what this stuff's worth?
To modern CNC. Appleton Lady intercepted, boarded and searched. Results negative, permitted to proceed. Something like that.
Well, bit of anticlimax, isn't it?
Beats weapon training.
What was your impression of Kenyon, sir?
Plausible.
Yes, his mate Murphy was a lot less cool.
Oh?
Yeah, very nervous, very, jumpy.
Well, perhaps he was a naval deserter. Thought his day had come.
It's exactly how he behaved. Right, so. HMS Hero, Captain's Cabin, First Lieutenant. Good evening, Miss Carter. No, I'm terribly sorry. You just missed him again. No, dinner engagement, I think. I sometimes wonder what these admirals do apart from give dinner parties. And of course, Miss Carter, the moment he gets on board. Yeah. Good night.
Miss London.
No. From Somerset.
Jet pilot, nothing. He must be the fastest guy in the United Kingdom.
Oh, there's no limit to the gullibility of women.
If only that were true, I wouldn't be wandering around on board, dressed like a penguin.
It's nothing to do with the gullibility of women, just the stupidity of navigators.
Well, I wasn't to know, was I?
Oh, look, Paul. You took one girl to the cinema and then found out the other one was the usherette. Then you try and pass off a 20-year-old dolly as your maiden aunt. Well, the armpit was obviously a lie. That's for the first part.
She's a very nice girl.
Then she's got a jolly good chance of staying now, hasn't she?
Wonder how he does it. What do you suppose would happen if I flew Phantoms?
Every observer in the Navy would join the RAF.
And you believed him?
I wanted to.
The benefit of the doubt.
Yes. And I neglected to put in my report that I saw him dumping stuff overboard.
Well, whatever it was, it's at the bottom of the sea now.
Watches. He gave me his word on it.
And you know him well enough to trust his word.
I hope so. I think so.
Well, that's that.
Yes. And according to your theory, I have a responsibility for him anyway.
He was a good friend?
Yes. Certainly felt responsibility for me in his time. I owe him a lot.
Owed him?
Hmm?
Debt paid, I'd say.
like to go through that again.
You know, for a moment there, I thought it was the night of the long knives, right between the shoulder blades.
Oh, thank God they're professionals.
Sure. But you know, that was a lot of their money we committed to the deep.
There's plenty more where it came from. And the main thing to them is that the route's still open.
Dave, that captain, did he really say all that?
All what?
You know, about apologies and won't happen again and eliminated from inquiries.
Well, not quite. But I had to convince our friends that we can run again.
Well, you convinced me, all right, but...
Go on.
HMS Hero. That captain. I'm surprised he didn't make more of it.
Well, you know, the Navy. The simple.
Not that first lieutenant, though, eh? Oh, he read all the right books.
How to take a boat apart for drugs. And companion volumes.
Right. Do you know what, Dave? He even probed me bacon butty.
Captain, sir, what's the watch? Captain, sir, officer of the watch.
Captain.
Immediate signal from watch, sir. Navigating officer on his way down with it.
Roger.
Yes, pilot. That motor yacht we stopped last week, sir. The Appleton Lady.
What about it?
According to this, the Dutch police got a last-minute tip-off about a drugs pick-up north of Scheveningen.
Too late.
Well, they're in time to nab 3 men on the beach, but the boat involved got clear.
Who says it was the Appleton Lady?
They claim a near-positive identification, sir. Thank you.
Anything else?
Well, the Dutch Navy was alerted, but, well, should be well clear of their territorial waters by now.
So the Royal Navy has to stop and search again. Just our luck to bite second time round. Sir? How long till first light?
About 2 hours, sir.
Go and look for it.
Yes, sir.
Bridge. Range of the skunk at 082. And now at 079, sir. Range 9 miles. Course 356, speed 15. Roger.
That could be her, sir.
Starboard 15. Starboard 15.
Got her. There she is.
Hey, it's the Navy! They're gonna stop us!
They've increased speed. Kenyon's trying to make a run for it.
Hasn't got a hope. Starboard 20.
Starboard 20.
Hold tight!
Port 15, Revolutions 142.
415, Revolutions 142.
Action, Wasp.
It's useless.
Look, Dave, we can't dump that stuff. Not again. They'll carve us up this time.
That's later.
This is now. I don't fancy a long stretch in prison.
More watches.
All right, so I lied. But not just for the reason you're thinking.
Oh, really? Not just to save your skin? Not just to con me into failing to report what I'd seen?
No. But you didn't, did you? I'd lay odds on that. And if you turn me in, and I tell the court how cooperative you were on our first encounter, what's that going to do for you, eh?
I imagine it could do me some damage.
Yes, I should say so. A big blot on your copybook. Especially if I embroider the story a little.
So what do you suggest?
You're the only person that's seen the stuff. Put it back, seal the can up and give it to me and I'll be on my way. And your story is that the can was empty.
You're out of your mind.
No, it's a practical joke. I saw Hero closing with me. And remembering the last time, I deliberately did something to get a reaction out of you. It's the sort of thing someone who knew you might do for a laugh. And we're old mates, that can be proved.
There's only one thing I don't understand about all that.
What?
How it was that we were ever old mates.
All right. But remember, a few well-chosen words from me on oath and your neck could end up on the chopping block.
I'll just have to take that chance.
So, I'll make it worth your while. In cash. And within 24 hours of you getting back to port. How about that? All right, but I'm in a spot. If there's a way out of it, I've got to find it.
You're clutching at straws.
Am I? Well, how about this, then? What I'm asking is no more than you owe me, Commander Alan Glenn. Now, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have those shiny gold rings on your sleeve today. This cabin, this command. Oh, sure, you worked your way up to them, more power to you. But without me, none of it would have been possible, would it? Good. We're agreed, then. So let's just say that now I'm calling in your note.
You're too late, David. You've played that card already. As far as I'm concerned, I repaid my debt the last time we met.
Alan! You might at least ask why. Why I was running heroin.
Your motive's pretty obvious, I'd say.
Oh, money. Yes, yes. But I've been in the business a long time now. And always with watches and cameras, perfume, stuff like that. Never drugs. I wouldn't touch them. I didn't have to. I was making enough. But things change. I told you I had a daughter. Remember? Well, she's 8 years old. And she's dying. It's a rare bone disease. There's nothing anyone can do for her in the UK. But there's a specialist in Austria who's had some limited success. Now, he might just be able to help her. If not cure her, at least check the disease a little longer. But it's very expensive. And that's why I took to running drugs. My daughter. Believe me, it's the truth. You have my word on it.
Number one! So, we're taking the yacht back to port. Mr. Kenyon is to be detained.
Defendants will rise.
David Arthur Kenyon, Joseph Michael Murphy, you have both pleaded guilty to a particularly vile crime. Nothing has been said by either of you or by others on your behalf which in any way mitigates your offense. Your motive was greed. You had no thought of the suffering and degradation which by your action you were perpetrating, indeed propagating. You had no thought other than of personal profit. The sentence of this court is that you shall both go to prison for a term of 7 years.
The upstanding in court.
Mr. Henderson.
Excuse me, sir.
I'll join you.
Sir? Yes, Commander?
I was wondering if you could tell me something.
That depends.
I have a special interest. David Kenyon and I have known each other for a long time.
You're friends?
We were.
Oh, I had no idea. How very awkward for you. As the naval officer who detained a man.
Yes, but what I don't understand is why he didn't say anything in there. Anything that might have influenced the court in his favor.
My client chose to plead guilty. Under the circumstances, what was there for him to say?
Well, surely, if he told the judge the full facts about his daughter...
I beg your pardon?
I was under the impression that his daughter was seriously ill, dying, in need of expensive treatment abroad. That's why he was running the drugs.
Is that what he told you?
Yes.
Very sad story, Commander.
But I can assure you my client never as much as mentioned a daughter to me. Now, if you'll excuse me, good day.
Go. Make a final warning light, will you, Derek? About declaring all dutiable goods bought in the Med.
I think after last month's experiences, we're all perfectly well aware of the penalties for smuggling.
I hope so. I'll be shooting off as soon as we get in. I'm going to Mrs. Kenyon's.
Oh? Good luck.
It's very good of you to call, Commander. Please, sit down.
Thank you. I'd have come sooner, but we've been exercising in the Med for the past 6 weeks.
David's often spoken about you. From all accounts, you were very good friends in the Navy.
Yes, we were. But when David left the service...
Had his commission terminated.
Yes, well, we sort of lost touch after that. Mrs. Kenyon, I wanted to say how sorry I am about what happened. Even sorrier that it should have been me.
You weren't the cause, Commander. And it must have been very difficult for you. David appreciates that.
How is he taking it?
Well, he hasn't really come to terms with it yet. But then I imagine it takes anyone quite a bit of time to settle down in prison. Can I get you something? A cup of tea or coffee?
No, thank you.
Well, how about a sherry?
Yes, a sherry would be lovely. This your daughter?
Yes.
Thank you. She's a very pretty girl. At school now, I suppose?
No, Commander. Sally's dead.
Mrs. Kenyon, I'm so
please.
sorry.
How were you to know? It was only 3 weeks ago. They were very good at the prison. They allowed David to come to the funeral.
Must have been a terrible shock.
No. Sally had been ill for some time. A terminal disease. There was only one person who might have been able to do something for her, a doctor in Vienna, but... well, there was no guarantee, and... anyway, it would have been costly.
Then David
was trying to raise the money.
And why didn't he say anything in court? The judge would have been bound to take it into consideration.
And the newspapers would have got hold of it. Probably made a big story of it. And neither of us wanted that, because... well, even if Sally hadn't read it herself, her friends or their parents would have been bound to mention it to her.
Sally didn't know?
No. She knew she wasn't well, but not that she was dying. Right up until the last 4 days, she managed to live a reasonably normal life. Went to school. Her headmistress knew, of course, but Sally didn't. Just the school and the hospital and David and me. No one else knew.
Even if you had believed him, it couldn't have made any difference, could it? You couldn't have just turned him loose with a load of heroin.
No, but I keep thinking about another time when David Kenyon stuck his neck out for me.
Then talk about it.
History now. Sub-Lieutenant's prank in Athens. But it almost caused an international incident.
And there had to be a public hanging.
We were equally to blame, but David elected himself. He'd been on quarterly report for some time, not doing too well on officer-like qualities. Reckoned his sacrifice would be less than mine. Before we could discuss it properly, he'd gone to the captain and confessed the whole thing.
And after that?
After that, I allowed myself to be convinced that if I confessed too, his sacrifice would be in vain. When it was all over, when I was really in the clear, I tried to thank him.
He just laughed. Come on, he said. What are friends for?